Hi, this is John Ludwig with Novi Labs. Today, I'm going to do a quick demonstration of our Novi economic projections software, which is based upon a machine learning driven predictive algorithm running in the background. To go ahead and enter full screen mode here, and the first thing I'm going to walk through quickly is our 2017 drill plan. This would represent your total drill plan. In this case, we've selected 61 sample wells in the Williston Basin. And this initially, when this loads, it presents the capital investment, PVI, net present value, rate of return, et cetera, given an assumed set of market prices, which are, of course, editable. So for purposes of this demonstration, we're starting at $45 for oil, $3 for gas. It slowly goes up to 53 and $3.55, and then just kind of stays there. So we have semi-bearish expectation on the future. If you looked at the capital windows, this is a really important part of making an economic projection. You want to be able to line up the time at which you spend your capital to the time at which these wells actually turn in line. So you can see here all the 61 wells represented, and we've made an assumption for purposes of this demonstration that each well is drilled in month one and then completed in month two. We've also made an assumption that the wells are going to be drilled and completed on a pad. So we're going to go one pad at a time, and we're going to drill anywhere from 4 to 8 well packages on those pads. So this is kind of my starter case. What I'm going to simulate here in this demonstration is how I could utilize the Novi software to improve the economic outcome for an upcoming pad that I'm going to drill. So what I'm going to do, or what I'm going to start with, is making a copy of my 2017 plan. And this is going to be for the Amundsen pad. So we'll say Amundsen pad, $45 WTI. So we're not going to change that. And then we're going to use the standard design. So by cloning the projection, it's going to bring in the same economic assumptions, the same wells, etc. All I'm going to do here is just remove all the wells other than these 4 Amundsen wells that are on my upcoming pad review. So now you can see the D&C cost has dropped to 21.8. This is actually a pretty good pad. It offers a pretty good PVI and NPV and rate of return. And you can see all these wells are slated to turn in line in October, all 4 coming online at once. And then you can see each of the wells as you scroll down here. These wells are sorted based on highest present value index first to lowest. So the lowest well on the bottom of the list is my worst performing well from a PVI, which is really a capital efficiency type metric. So I'm going to see if I can improve my lot in life here. I'm just going to make a copy of what I just cloned a moment ago, and I'm going to experiment with, instead of just using the standard design, we're going to experiment with drilling but not completing the weakest well on the pad, but then goosing the completion design of the other wells. So the idea is you save money by deferring the completion on one of the wells and utilize some of that investment, or all of it in this case, to try to increase our economic return. So once that loads up, you can see everything here is exactly the same. For purposes of simplicity here, I'm just going to scroll down to the weakest well from a PVI perspective, and I'm going to adjust the complete for this and the turn in line out to March of 2018. So that takes the completion cost outside of my capital window, which has remained the same. So here's my 4 wells, and you can see this one well here where the completion's been moved out to March of 2018. So I've just saved some money there on that completion by moving it out of my investment window. So now I'm going to take my remaining wells here, and I'm going to ask the Novi software to recommend the best completion design given a optimization for present value index. So you can see for this well, this first well on the list, it's recommended 1,000 pound per foot, 800 gallon design. It selected that from all of these options. So of course, in production implementations, you may have 100 of these options, 50 of these options, or whatever. So the Novi software is actually looking at every single one. It's looking at the cost associated with executing the design relative to the expected increase in production. The other thing that's interesting here, if you look at the type curve, so this is the total type curve for this well, 1.24 million barrels. If I downgrade this, you can see that drops to 1.03. So behind the scenes, the Novi predictive model that's been built in the background based on all the available data is interacting with the information that the user is changing here in the interface. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and move it back to present value index, and I'm going to do the exact same thing, optimize the remaining wells in the list for present value index, and I'm going to tell my economic projection to update. And let's go check where we're at. So it looks like we've done pretty good. The only problem is we have not remained capital neutral. So 21.8 million in investment, we're now at 23.23. So we spent a lot more money on those 3 wells, but we did improve our PVI and our NPV. So what I'm going to do now is make another clone of that, except this time I'm going to try to remain capital neutral. So for purposes of simplicity, I'm going to use the easiest way to remain capital neutral, which is to go back to the 2 weakest wells, which is well 2 and well 3 on my list here. And instead of the 1,000-pound 800-gallon, which is a more expensive design, I'm gonna select the best worst downgrade. So in this case, for this well, Novi recommends the 750-pound 600-gallon design. I'm going to do the same thing for this well right here. So the Novi software is assisting me because it's helping me identify which well is my best worst downgrade. So if I am going to go ahead and update here, if I go back to my home screen and I look at where I'm at, so I've just iterated very quickly through 3 different variations for the Amundsen pad, and you can see here I've accomplished almost all of my objectives. 21.8 million investment is now 21.85, so that's close enough for government work. PVI at 1.38 has been improved to 1.43, and we've added more than $1 million in expected NPV. So thank you for taking the time to listen today. Should you require any additional information, please contact us at intro@novilabs.com or through our website at www.novilabs.com.